Hello guys, I'm Shop King back once again. You saw the title video, Hajime Pro round 1506 came out earlier today called Clinch. Now initially when I read this title, I was like, alright, there's not going to be nothing this week. Forget it. Let's go ahead and read it. So I got about halfway through and I don't know, we're going to have to see and find out. But overall, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I need to readjust my calibrators. Maybe I don't. Who knows? I haven't read the rest of the chapter. As far as I know, Sendo can be put to sleep. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows, man? Who knows, amigo? Who knows? Who knows? All I can say is I confirmed had read at least halfway. It is more than 10 pages this time. It is more than that. And yeah. But it does seem, no matter what happens this chapter, we're gonna be in this chapter till like until November. That's something that is happening. So yeah, let's get into this. It starts off right off the back with Sendo saying, "Is it gonna end like this? Me doing nothing? Fuck that. I can't just let it go like that. Damn it, but." Round 3 of the WBA featherweight world title match. He's been looked down on, thrown around, and Sendo finally realized the hopeless gap between him and the champion. He's clinging on he's clinging on to God now. You know, George is messed up for saying that. George is messed up, real messed up. Round 50 on round 1506, clinch. And Ricardo says to himself, "If I throw him off a second time and it will make a poor expression. It will make a poor expression. I'll much prefer him to. I'll much prefer him to let go on his own." Sendo says to himself, "I don't know what to do in the ring. He's God." As the two are, Sendo still clinging on to him with the clinch, and both of their legs are shaking, which is, I guess, because they're grabbing onto each other. And Ricardo says to himself, "Let go." Like, there's no way I'm having this many technical problems. Like, come on, like, load this stuff already. And Ricardo says, "Let's go." And they shove. Whoa, Sendo shoves Ricardo. Ricardo's going back. And Sendo eyes open. And Sendo says, or somebody said, I believe it's Sendo, I moved. It wasn't the same as that. No. It wasn't the same as that. We'll come back to this. This is some savage shit right here. It wasn't the same as that. And Sendo pushes him again. Ricardo gets pushed off of Sendo. He gets pushed off of Sendo. And the announcer says, this time the challenger is throwing the champion to the mat. That's no good. Look at Sendo tossing him down. Look at Sendo. Look at him. What he thought this was. Look at him. Look at him. And Bill Stewart's like, that was on purpose. Penalize him. And the ref is asking for Ricardo to get up. Yeah. And Hoshi is about gosh darn time. Hoshi is like, quit your bitching. He was just paying back what you did to him. Oh, shout out to Hoshi. Like, shout out to Hoshi for holding it down. Shout out to Hoshi. We send those coaches like, "I'm so damn sorry." Which I guess is on Sendo's behalf with the tossing them down. But what you mean by that? And Bill Stewart's like, "Ref, penalize him. Are you listening?" And the ref's like, "But they both did it." If Bill Stewart yells at Ricardo, "Ricardo, are you injured anywhere?" Ricardo looks at his hand. He lifts up his right hand, and the announcer says, "The champion stands tall." He's telling his second, "I'm fine." And Bill's like, "His right hand, I see." Let's overlook the rudeness of Sendo tossing him down like that. him buying time with those clinches that turned out to be a huge mistake. You know, I'm surprised that Bill Stewart is not a meme. I'm gonna be honest. Every time he says some shit like this, it never turns out like it's supposed to. Like every time, like maybe it's just me, but if you ever notice, every time Bill Stewart says something and get a close up like this, it never goes his way. I'm not saying that Ricardo loses, but it like something always end up going against it. Let me see this hand. And Ricardo's like, thanks to that passing time, or well, that time passing, my right has been revived. I'm gonna admit, I'm mad right now. If somebody say why, because Ricardo was talking like in the previous round that, well, I could just sit here, you know, and I could just drag. Hey, we'll get back here too. Ricardo puts up his guard, both hands up. Ricardo says to himself, "I can go full strength. No need to create smoke screens anymore with my left only combinations. I sense there may be 30 seconds left in the round. More than enough. I'll mix in my right and strike his vitals. I'll increase the number of combinations and the firepower of my single shots, and then he goes down. So then, Sendo, have you resolved yourself?" And the announcer says the match resumes. The ref says box. And the announcer continues, the champion is already ready to the champions is already ready to go. Yeah, I read that correct the first time. And the announcer says, and the challenger, and the ref says, Sendo, hands up, box. And Sendo's is we don't see his face, he's silhouetted. And he's standing there. And the crowd is like, Sendo, quit just Sendo, quit just hugging him. It ain't cool. Your clinches ain't your style. That's not true. I proved it together. He done it before. Just like you always do. And I forgot Mara's been here. Mara's like, they all misunderstand. He's clinching because he has to. The damage from the downs and the body blows. And Ippo's like, but now the ref is paying more attention to it. If he does it again, he might lose points. And Mara's like, eh? And Miata's like, just as survival will be rough. Ippo's like, I'm shocked for Sendo to be so powerless. George, don't do this, George. Don't do this, George. Like, don't do it, George. And Miata's like, did you expect anything different, or did you not want to admit it? Sendo is strong, but his opponent is something else. Why does this remind me of Miata sitting on the sideline saying, I want to see the anti-Ippo when Ippo was fighting Sendo more. And Ippo's like, ugh, Sendo, son. And the ref says, hurry up, Sendo. And Sendo says to himself, he was like he had roots coming out of his feet. I could have budged him, but this guy, I gave him a little shove and dropped him right down. Sendo, and he says, you see the prickle of his hair. The hell? You ain't no god. Sendo declares, El Diablo of Mexico ain't no god. We'll get to this later. And he shoves the refs out the way. Ricardo's looks at him. We got a shout out Dante Takamura. The crowd shocks. You got Ippo Miata looking upon. And we got Sendo saying as he charges towards Ricardo, what am I balling up for? He's just a man. Wait a minute. Bill Stewart's like, so low. Is he going to clinch again? Wait a minute. Wait, no. Wait. Ah, wait a minute. He charges towards Ricardo, right? He stepped in low. His right hand is apparently loaded. Bill Stewart's like so low. Is he going to clinch again? And we see, nah, it's not Ricardo saying. I hope like somebody says no. And it says a man, just a man. And if I hit him, he'll go down. Wait a minute. And a punch just flies past Ricardo. Fuck the rules. Fuck the champion. I got too deep. I got two in my head a bit. Oh my gosh, no way! Fuck the rules, fuck the champion. I got you in my head a bit, and the right hand flies over. Ricardo still got high guard, doesn't even connect to him. And we see Sendo's knuckles cracking. I gotta believe in my fist, and there's a break next week. George, you bastard. That what we're doing, George? Huh? That's what we're doing? That's what we're doing, George? So you had a runner last week, huh? You see, like, nah. It's impossible for George to know of my existence. But you can't say that this chapter is not a troll. Like, what was this last chapter? What was this? This is this is some of the most ironic stuff I've ever read. Are you telling me that Ricardo's about to like Sendo's about to do that stuff he was doing with Miata? Cause remember what he did with Takamura. The first punch was a feint, even though he was lethal. He was winding up, and when he's like the reason why Bill Stewart said he was so low, cause he loaded up his right hand so much, and he charged in for overhand right. That there's no way, with the way he threw that right, he could have been expecting Sendo to use that momentum to follow up with a right hand. He's about to throw a smash. The only question is, will it connect? Because it seems like Ricardo, his expression, it seemed like he fully bought into it. We look at this man's eyes, he's pinpointed on throwing a counter. If this shit turns into a dual exchange, oh my gosh. this this could be incredible. If this turns into a dual exchange, or if Ricardo, I'm telling you, if Ricardo pinpoint fire and clop Sendo in the back of the head, if Euglin was off, he'll be in there breakdancing. Like on the spaghetti legs, slipping on butter. But if Sendo connects, there's no no, no. George, now since you're friends with the One Punch Man artist, let me say that again. Since you're friends with the One Punch Man artist, you are becoming the one chapter man. Did the same like. Just when I think I'm out, somehow he pulls me back in. Like, just when I'm out, he pulls me back in. The fight is still up in the air. That Sendo will connect. But this is the strategy he was working on. And from seeing this, Miata was like, I believe Sendo is the only man that can do it. Whether it's succeed or not, the training with him might just pay off. And then, so let's go some earlier points. The fact that when Sendo grabbed on, and Ricardo said, I keep hitting my mic by accident. When he pushes Ricardo back, and he's like, I moves, it ain't the same as that. Ippo is broken. Oh my gosh. Ricardo, like we've already knew that two of the powerful punchers in the Japanese featherweight class is Sendo and Ippo. But was not informed that Ippo in his retirement has increased his leg strength so much that Sendo considered it to be a solid 12 by 50 brick wall that he can't overcome. That's how strong this guy is. And compare that to Ricardo, he's pushing Ricardo down like he's his 12-year-old son. Sit down. Sit down. But it's not just that. It's not just that. It's not that Ricardo's like, you ready for this? Like, I'm telling you, it's up in the air. But it seems like we have to get some high tier action. Maybe George is taking a break to do some extra in the artwork. You might be coming back with a color page. But just maybe, boys and girls, just maybe, I was just one chapter off. Maybe, just maybe. But what if then? Remember earlier, this is another point. So we get Ippo and Miata's talking, right? And I kept saying just like why'd I keep trying to, like, the Sendo One Punch Man just went. Just went. Like, the only person that's happened to is when he fought Jose Naga, which is pretty funny. One smash, put him straight to sleep. And when he first came back in Rising, he also put that guy to sleep quite quickly. He is quite strong. Everybody's always known that, but I guess it's, since he fought Ippo, And like Gonzalez, it was like I said before, it does depend on the opposition he's fighting, the way Sendo's style switches up or not. Well, didn't he also take out Sayeki in the first round? I think so. Remember, the fight with Sayeki is never over until this ponytail pops up. But we got Ippo, Miyata here, Mari. Look, I forget Mari's here. And we have the ref is not paying no attention if he try to clinch. Surviving would be rough. I'm shocked for Sendo's son to be so powerless. Is this not George setting up a red herring for things to go different? It's be honest, like, did you expect anything different? Or did you not want to admit that Sendo's strong? Miyata has said this shit towards other fighters and he's been wrong. Every time I'm telling you, I can't say what's gonna happen, but all I gotta say is this next chapter here. Because if my prediction was only one chapter, like I was waiting for this chapter last week. If my prediction is only one chapter off, next chapter could fucking deliver. Sendo is strong, but his opponent is something else. Remember, and I kept saying he has not proved it. Gonzalez showed difference. Mike Elliott showed difference. They both showed why they deserve to be here, and I came here to see El Diablo Ricardo Martinez. Not false advertisement, not Mr. Left Arm Man. And now, no, Ricardo fans got no excuse. Whatever happens, Ricardo's arms no longer hurt, is back to normal. Ricardo said he's ready, the engines are revving up, and he asked Sendo, are you finally done with your head pain? You ready to start this up, baby? And Sendo's like, the hell? It was like roots coming out of his feet. I could have budged him. But with this guy, I gave him a little shove and I dropped him right down. The hell? You ain't no god. You ain't no god. And he shoves the ref out the way and charged right in. What am I balling up for? He's just a man. Now, the surprising thing is, right? The right hand that Sendo threw to set up his left hand for the smash potentially. The infamous smash feint that I said him and Miyata's been working on, right? For quite some time. Ricardo did not try to counterpunch that first right hand. And the question is, why? And somebody said, what do you mean? Ricardo has been picking apart with the jab this whole match. And when he charged in, his face was completely unprotected. So it was rather one or two things are happening, right? It's rather that Ricardo's playing passive, right? He's playing possum, possibility. Or it could be Sendo's charging in, he's curious to see what happens, right? So it just could be that he's curious, or that this overhead punch, like that's still is strange, right? Because you look at the punch, he's charging in, right? He's not protecting his face. He's real close down. He towards Ricardo's center line, right? And everybody points out, and like he's looking at Sendo. He's not looking at that first punch, which is concerning. Very concerning. And you see, no, a man's just a man. If I hit him, he'll go down. And even when he's throwing the right hand, Ricardo is looking at Sendo. He's not looking at the hand, and the sand goes full-fledged, covering his eyes. Right, goes clean across his face. Fuck the rules. Fuck the champion. I got two in my head a bit. I just gotta believe in my fist. Knuckles on mine. I'm telling you. Well, boys and girls, now sure, it is a 2-week wait. On which, wait a minute. You know what month is in 2 weeks? Today is the 24th, first, right? A week from now. A week from now will be Tuesday. It'll be the 28th. 2 weeks from now is like November the 5th or 4th. You remember back in August, I said, nah, like we're not gonna be in this fight till November. And what are the chances? Like I can't make this up. This is off the. I can't make this up. I said, what if this fight goes to November? Hey, look, man, I'm not a psychic, but if I was, it'll make sense why I got so much bad luck. It'll make sense. I can't deny this was a chapter worth reading. I did not like the only part I saw up to with the whole he ain't no god. I didn't see everything else. It been like 2 hours since I saw it, so it kind of lacks on me. I kind of just like I knew I was gonna make the video, but my goodness, I want to see it. I gotta see this happening because if it connects, right? Worst case scenario connects. I don't think it's gonna put him down. Now, sure, you might get like a 4 count, 6 count. If Sendo connects and it's a 9 count, it's not making it around 6. It's rather that Ricardo's going down or Sendo's going down. And remember, George randomly kept saying Sendo only needs one punch, one punch, and he hits way harder than Ippo. Well, not way harder. Like if Ippo's an 80 or like a 90, right? Sendo's like a 92 or a 93. And you can't say I'm making it up because the coach said it, Ippo said it. Sendo's bigger. He got some. It's just the way it is. They're equal. It's not enough where it's a substantial difference. It's really not. But it is enough to say that one is like it's there's a difference. Does it matter with Ippo? No. Like I always said, if Ippo comes back with a new Denshiro, I believe that Sendo's gonna get whooped. Easy. I've always said this. There's nothing he can do against a Denshiro he can't predict. A Denshiro that incorporates a liver blow and a gazelle punch. He can't do shit. Like, he hasn't shown nothing off to do that. So, it is what it is. I've been consistent. So, you gotta watch the foot. I can't believe this. It's happening. It's happening right here. After all these chapters, Sendo is about to pull out what he's been doing with Miata. The same stuff. Hey, look. It is a sad fact. If it works against Takamura, it works against Ricardo. I'm not. It's like this is not some like Takamura is and Ricardo. I've always compared the two because those are the two of the strongest characters we've ever seen on screen today. But the only difference is we spent more time with Takamura and we got a chance to see the rise of the Great Moor, Big Moor, right? That's the only difference. But I've always been predicted as the same, especially with the Richard Bison fight. As in, what can Takamura do? He can do anything. Especially with that, even with the early parts of the Keith Dragon fight, like he was like putting the beats. I won't say beats on Drake, but he was applying some monstrous level of pressure to Keith Dragon until his legs start to mess up and everything else. But he was applying some monstrous pressure. And then against David Eagle, the Golden Deal, another great fight. Boys, so it's just like we get this like chapters in Train with Takamura. We still see Takamura, but Takamura is like I don't mind him being these days. You gotta take a picture every time you see him. It's just his character works better that way. But it's just if it works on Takamura, because remember Takamura can do the eyelid shuffle. That's confirmed. That's factual. He could do the eyelid shuffle. How? I don't know. But he can do it. So if it works for Takamura, it can work with Ricardo. The only question is, I don't see it being a one-hitter quitter. I just don't. And if it triggers El Diablo, if Ricardo tastes thy own blood, it's like, this is what I've been waiting for. Like I said, the fight has truly begun right now. I don't give a damn who wins. Alright? George, you better deliver. You better deliver. I might have been one chapter off. It might be happening. It might actually be happening. It might be happening. It's about damn time, Sendo. About damn time. So there's no excuse from this point on. I think Ricardo took the bait. As much as I like to believe he didn't, as much as I like to believe, you know, cause like he's looking too much at Sendo in the punch he just threw. Cause he look, we seen how he was against Billy McCullum. He could have just let that punch whiff and just popped him still. I don't know, man. Because remember, Gonzalez had the same thing. Well, I could hit him, but what is it? Dual exchange with Sendo. Look, I believe El Diablo Ricardo don't care. Because that's what he's known for, baby. Ricardo loves all about that action. He wants them hitty exchanges. He's not going to walk away from something like this. Now, he's not going to take unnecessary damage. But if he believes he got like a 1% edge, he'll take it. But I don't know. All depends on Ricardo's endurance. I just find that hard to believe. What do you mean Ippo's legs? It was harder to push him back. What you mean by that? What type of Look, you can't say I haven't been consistent. I said if Ippo came back with that new Dempsey roll now, he'll obliterate Sendo. And from what I've just seen, what do you mean it's easier to push Ricardo back compared to Ippo? What do you mean? Like, this is getting disturbing, man. I'm actually scared. Ippo might... Ippo might be the strongest kid. Nah, I won't put him on Takamo. He might be number 2. Ippo might replace Ricardo Martinez. What do you mean it's easier to move Martinez than Ippo? That doesn't make any sense. That's absurd. His power level's off the chart, Vegeta. What are we gonna do? Vegeta, what are we gonna do? That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I don't know. Like Dante and Miata, like that should be fun. And Bill, I'm telling you, look back and watch every fight with Wally, Jose Nargo, and there was like some other fight. Watch every time Bill Stewart open his mouth, especially against the Jose Nargo. It's a trap. No, it's not. Okay, Bill. Okay, especially you're not trying to give him no commentary in the corner. That's the thing. I can't hate Bill for trying to protect his boy. I can't. Sure, if he pushing the edges some, yes. But I can't blame him. Bill Stewart's a great character, right? He's not doing anything dirty. He's being legitimate here. But it's about darn time, because what's that shenanigan Ricardo said? Well, I'm going to try to, just wait him out and tire him out for 2 rounds. Man, no one came here for that crap. So I'm glad George took that. Well, I can't say took that back. I'm glad from all the clinching, causing Ricardo not to move his body, that Ricardo's arm is back. So there's no excuse. There's no Ricardo was tired. There's no Ricardo was getting beat. Sendo's being whooped this whole fight. I don't want to, no matter how this fight turns out, I don't want to hear no Ricardo was nerfed. Because you chose to sit there like a dummy and not do anything. He took no damage. No damage. I remember the first chapter of this fight. This fight was exchanging back and forth. There was some great stuff. I haven't forgot. I was there. I had to edit those chapters. I'm telling you, boy, this is going to be something special. Sensational. If there's any time to read Ippo, it might be right now. I'm telling you, I can't guarantee that this punch is going to connect, but I also can't say that nothing's going to happen. Something, whether it's a graze of his chin or just splitting his cheek open, something with this punch is going to happen. May not knock him out. It may knock him down. I can't say which one is which, but something with this punch is going to occur. Because Ricardo has fully bought into the game. Look at this man's eyes. Look at him. He's not even looking at Sendo's right hand. He's looking at Sendo's shoulder. Wrong. And you know why? It's because in the following shot, when he's throwing the left, you can't see it. His shoulder's covered by his big ass head and his hairstyle. You can't see that return shot. But look at Sendo looking like a pure diva. And as I was saying, Ricardo fully bought into the game. He fully bought into the delusion. They bought into the dream. Like I'm telling you, no matter how this turns out, if Ricardo counters, I don't think it will be over. If Sendo connects, I don't think it's gonna be over. Like I just spent like maybe 5-10 minutes talking to myself, and it wasn't even recording. Like this shit's hilarious. I can't even remember what I've been saying. Like I said, I'll be doing this off the cuff. There's no scripts around here. But my goodness, it's finally happened. Solo, he's going for a clinch again. And it's Ricardo saying no. And Sendo's like, a man's just a man. And if I hit him, he'll go down. Fuck the rules and fuck the champion. I got in my head a bit. I gotta believe in my fist. Crack, 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 because they really hurt these knuckles on mine. George said, give me 2 weeks. Give me 2 weeks, and I'll come back with the greatest excellence the world has ever seen. Give him 2 weeks. He's going to the hyperbolic time chamber, boys and girls. Give him 2 weeks. In hindsight, it's funny how when you do live things, how things come together. It is really funny. And, I don't know, man. I don't know. It really is. So, cause this shit here, like I'm telling you, I love this stuff. Like, I do this shit, I don't get paid for it. I do this stuff with barely too many people watching, maybe 20 people, and I do it because I love it. And I try to respond and like comments because, you know, like people watching it, you know, give it their opinions and thoughts. But it's just, this is what it's all about, boys and girls. This is what it's all about. And it's about to happen right here, right now. The death card of Mexico versus the Mexican killer tiger, the Rocky from Naniwa Sendo. Right here. There's no excuse of the people being nerfed. There's no Sendo got a broken rib. That's never stopped him before. And it'll be the greatest episode of Natural Geographic you will ever hear. Either that Sendo's gonna walk out with a field belly, wounded, but you know, there's no such thing as an easy meal in the wild, or the sun god, the El Diablo of Mexico, the false the light bringer, the demon of Mexico, will skin Sendo into a nice Sendo jacket. I heard it's a nice time to wear a Sendo jacket this time of year. You know, skin them alive. You know, just all that nice fur just comes right on off, and it makes a fantastic jacket this time of year. But I don't know how much, you know, greatness I lost. But it's just, this is only a few minutes later, trying to make sure everything records like it's supposed to. But this right here, no matter how it turns out, as long as Sendo is portrayed properly, and he gets a chance to show off what he's been training, and Ricardo shows everybody what he's really about, that's all that matters. Because only one of them is walking out of here tonight. MSWK, I like the video now. Peace. Is that the rafts? It is.